What's up guys, welcome to my channel BM Reviews. Today we are gonna discuss how the Spider-Verse's villain makes the MCU's Kang plan look weak. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get instant notification. Despite being the multiverse saga's greatest villain as of right now, Spot from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse makes Kang the Conqueror appear weak. Since 2021, when his version He Who Remains made an appearance in the Loki Season 1 finale, the MCU has been establishing Kang as the next major threat to the franchise. This Kang ominously predicted that if he were to quit upholding the sacred timeline, his variations would launch another multiversal war, so ending all of time. Janet Pym reportedly found the second Kang variation in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania to be so horrifying that she refused to talk about him after she broke up with him. As a result of Kang's continued development in Loki Season 2, all of the TVA's characters either adore or fear him. However, the MCU may not have been as successful as they had intended with all of this characterization. Kang's influence and authority remain highly dubious. Conversely, Spot achieves success by, for the most part, doing the exact opposite of what Kang accomplished. Spot went from being written off as simply another villain of the week to an extraterrestrial creature that became Miles Morales' worst nightmare in the course of a single film. Additionally, Spot's impressive metamorphosis accentuates the lackluster portrayal of Kang. Because Spot's reasons for destroying Miles' life are based on a personal grudge, he feels oddly human and far more dangerous than Kang. To be rejected by Miles as just another low-level villain, Spot truly feels that he and Miles have a fatalistic bond and that he is Miles' worst enemy. The notion is furthered by the fact that Spot is initially presented in Across the Spider-Verse as a clumsy, awkward mess who is obviously unsure of his place in the world. As Spot transforms into his ultimate form, a feeling that Miles is solely to blame develops because Miles fired Spot after damaging his life. It's terrifying when Spot threatens to ruin Miles' life since it's obvious that he means it. Throughout his time in the MCU, Kang, on the other hand, has not provided any clear explanation for his conduct. He Who Remains is the only one with some depth because he says he did the terrible things he did to stop his variants from going to war across multiple realities. However, the question of why each Kang form seeks to rule the multiverse in the first place remains unanswered, rendering him a one-dimensional, bland antagonist. Not only is Spot interesting because of his bond with Miles, but he also seems unbeatable. Following his collision mishap, his body is imbued with portals that cause him to become virtually intangible. These portals allow him to move through matter and allow matter to move through him. Then he finds out that he can travel around the multiverse using these portals. His abilities are further enhanced when he merges with the energy of another collider, becoming an indestructible interdimensional being. Spot's invulnerability is exacerbated by Spider-Man 2099's introduction of the concept of canon events. He claimed that for reality to continue, certain things had to happen in a Spider-Man's life. This would mean that Miles' father passes away, which is what Spot hopes to happen. There is a great deal of anxiety at the conclusion of Across the Spider-Verse since Spot can easily carry out his plan and it is unavoidable for Miles. He Who Remains is not unbeatable, rather, he is disappointing because, despite his efforts to protect his own canon through the creation of the sacred timeline, the only thing he is rescuing the cosmos from is himself. Since Kang's journey is, in many respects, the complete opposite of Spot's, it makes sense that although Spot's voyage has received praise, Kang's has been largely unsuccessful. In contrast to Spot, who began as a silly-looking minor antagonist that viewers and Miles could both ignore before evolving into the Spider-Verse trilogy's biggest threat, Kang was first presented as an incredibly strong and intimidating character before descending into a more pitiful portrayal. They all appear pointless now that they know how simple it is to kill Kang, despite the fact that the Council of Kang's final credit scene in Quantumania demonstrated that he had innumerable variations to overcome. Furthermore, despite the fact that Kang is meant to represent a serious threat to the multiverse, one of his versions ends up stuck in the quantum realm when his ship malfunctions. It's obvious why Kang lacks Spot's effect when you contrast this with Spot, who has survived 2 collider explosions and is now able to travel the multiverse with ease. The MCU ought to learn from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse if it hopes to maintain Kang's position as the ultimate villain.